Get ready for a financial breakthrough because XRP is on a skyrocketing journey, potentially reaching heights of $1,650 to $2,900 by the end of 2024. These claims aren't just sensational, they're based on a real event. An XRP ETF is about to be released. Picture this, BlackRock. The same financial titan that introduced a successful Bitcoin ETF is turning its expertise to XRP with an astounding track where virtually every ETF proposal they've submitted has been greenlit. BlackRock's move into XRP is a game changer. There's more, though. You can't just say that BlackRock is making waves, Grayscale is too. They have not only suggested an XRP ETF, but they have also added XRP to their collection of cryptocurrencies. This highlights XRP's and Ripple Labs' growing influence in the realm of international transactions. Hello, Moneyside family. Welcome back to the place where you can find everything about XRP. Before we get into the meat of today's post, let's quickly catch up. Could you do me a favor? Please hit that like button, subscribe button, and notification bell button to join our great group. Also, just so you know, we're getting ready for a huge XRP gift as we get closer to 60,000 subscribers. Getting involved in the giveaway is a breeze. Just follow 3 simple steps, so make sure you're tuned in and ready. To make sure you get into the giveaway, don't forget to leave a code for Moneyside in the comments. Let's dive into the interesting world of XRP and see what's new today. When you look at the data more closely, it's clear that BlackRock has a great track record when it comes to approving ETFs. As the global leader in asset management, BlackRock's venture into cryptocurrencies and Web 3.0 signifies a pivotal shift in the traditional finance sector's view of digital currencies. Their almost perfect track record of approving ETFs shows how well they know how to navigate the financial market. Remember, BlackRock's ETF approval rate is an impressive 99.8%, making them an unstoppable force in the ETF landscape. It's important to look at the big picture. Major financial players like BlackRock and JP Morgan haven't just been watching XRP, they've been actively accumulating it. There are reports, including a paper that was leaked, that these big companies have put more than 7.5% of their entire wealth into XRP. A recent fully vetted article even hinted at BlackRock shifting its focus entirely from Bitcoin to XRP, signaling a major shift in their investment strategy. This move shows that people are becoming more interested in XRP, which makes the idea of a BlackRock-backed XRP ETF more likely than ever. But here's where it gets even more interesting. A new development in the XRP saga has appeared. The existence of an XRP ETP. The creator of this ETP remains a mystery, but its existence is a critical step towards an ETF. Reports suggest that while the XRP ETP has been launched, it's still in the pre-release phase, valued at 0, but ready for unveiling any day now. There's more. People are talking about the possibility of launching an XRP ETF at the same time as the ETP. This parallel release not only makes sense, but also underscores rapid progress toward the ETF, possibly following just weeks after the launch of a Bitcoin ETF. When we put this into perspective, especially given Bitcoin's surge to $43,000 even before its ETF launch, the potential for XRP is astronomical. The value of XRP could go through the roof once its ETF goes on sale, going up to $1,650 or even $2,500. Okay, hear me out, because this isn't as far-fetched as it might sound. The XRP ETP has already launched, paving the way straight to an XRP ETF in just a few weeks. Many people don't know this, but Fidelity, a giant in the financial world, has publicly released the exchange-traded product for XRP. This means that things are moving quickly toward the start of an XRP ETF. The US Securities and Exchange Commission is expected to give its approval soon. We even talked about a newly published piece yesterday. The news came from a report that was leaked from BlackRock and said that an XRP ETF might be coming soon. This report showed that an ETF filing for XRP was about to happen. To make things even more exciting, a top BlackRock expert confirmed in public that a BlackRock ETF would be launched just for XRP. They went so far as to talk about the iShares XRP Trust in a filing for an ETF. At first, I wasn't sure about this, but I checked it out myself, and sure enough, it was on the website for the Delaware list of companies. This new development changes everything, and it shows how close we are to seeing a huge change in XRP's market position, possibly even bigger than the changes we've seen with Bitcoin's ETF. A big change in the crypto world has been made clear by new study. BlackRock and JP Morgan have both bought more than 7.5 million XRP, which shows that big companies are getting involved with cryptocurrency. BlackRock is leading the way by not only holding on to a lot of XRP, but also using the XRP system in their business, and most importantly, moving forward with the public launch of an XRP ETF. There is a very good chance that BlackRock will approve the XRP ETF. They have almost a perfect track record of doing so. You can't say enough about how much an XRP ETF changes its value. This is why a goal price of $9,831 for XRP, even though it seems high, starts to make sense when you look at all the important events that are about to happen. Take a look. When you think about the huge amounts, XRP is setting itself up to become a major player in global debt trades. The ISDA is mainly responsible for the 1.8 to 1.3 quadrillion dollars that could flow through the XRP system. Along with this, the BRICS countries, including Saudi Arabia, are all adding the XRP ledger to their systems. Also, the Republic of Palau is using the XRP ledger to build its central bank's digital currency. This is a traditional case of high volume, high demand, and limited supply, so it makes sense that the value of each XRP coin would go through the roof. This is a subject that's been getting a lot of attention lately. Some people think that my excitement about XRP is just a dream. Okay, so maybe they're right, but let me say this. I really want to accept this hopium. As I take a deep breath, I roll it up into a big ball and light it up. That's really strong stuff. I really believe in hope. It keeps you going, especially when things are bad and you're barely hanging on. No problem if you don't believe in hope and think it's all just wishful thought. I don't see a problem with that. Help each other out. That's what I tell myself. We're not about dropping pieces into a void, so anything less feels like that. We're here to keep things calm. And since we're talking about good things, I love how interesting the talks are and how challenging the views are that everyone has. It makes your mind work really hard. A good point was made about organizations and XRP. They don't have to buy XRP, certainly. You could also lease it. That's an interesting thought, isn't it? So I had an interesting thought. What would happen if XRP was only bought by regular people? I looked into this more and even asked ChatGPT how many transactions happen every day on the SWIFT system. The number was over $7 trillion, which was really crazy. Remember that this only counts foreign trade. It doesn't count the derivatives market, which is worth quadrillions, smart contracts, non-fungible tokens, NFTs, or tokenized assets like real estate. Now think about how XRP could be used in all of these areas. Let's focus on foreign trade, which is where SWIFT works. Take that $7 trillion and cut it in half. What do you think would happen if XRP, with its 1,700 connections, yes, Ripple and XRP have really set a high bar here, had to handle only $3 trillion of it every day? In that case, the system would have to hold $3 trillion for that day. It's possible that this situation would make XRP worth more than $1.50 per share. It's clear that the value will go up. Because XRP has a big network, it makes sense to think that some of these links will invest in it.